On today's episode, we're going to be jumping in the car, hitting the road, and traveling out of state. We're going to the Canberra Vintage and Collectible Centre in Fyshwick. I can't wait to show you guys this. So a few of the toy crew jumped in the car and we headed off to Canberra. Now we had to have a quick feed at Heatherbrae Pies along the way before arriving at the Canberra Vintage and Collectible Centre. Now I hadn't been to this shop before, but a few of the boys had. So I knew there'd be vintage toy goodness, but wow, I was blown away by how much vintage, how much modern. There were video games just lining the walls there. What else? There was vinyl records, comics, VHS tapes, you name it. It was sports memorabilia, trading cards. This place was jam-packed from the floor to the roof, and it was huge. It wasn't a small shop at all. They had been there for 8 years already, and by that time they had expanded into the next unit. So the CVCC is growing, and it was just full of people. And just have a look at how good this place was. Guys, just have a look at the wall of games along here. This is immense. I just don't even have time to look at them all, but how cool is that? So as you could see, the CVCC was jam-packed with collectible goodness. Every shelf full of toys or video games. We spent about 3 hours looking over this whole shop, and it was just incredible. Now, it wasn't the only reason we headed to Canberra. So we had Scott Crusher, who was there. Matt from Keep On Collecting was there. Andrew couldn't make it this time, but we got to meet up with Sci-Fi, who lives in Canberra and just gets to enjoy this shop all the time and anytime he wants to go. But we also had Dan from Ed5, who had traveled over from Adelaide. So it was great to meet those guys. Dan, thank you for the turtle bag that you gave me. You didn't have to get me anything, mate, but I really appreciate that. Now, we got to have a good chat with both of those, but more with Jamie, who was showing us a few items that just came into the shop, but was also talking about the collectible scene in Canberra, how much stock is available and how much expansion they're looking to do on that. And while I said earlier that they had already expanded the shop by 1 unit, they had just bought a second unit next door for all their overflow. And this is where Jamie said, why don't you guys come out the back and have a look at just the amount of overflow stock we have to go through. Check it.
Jesus. Oh.
Just boxes and boxes of stuff.
So it's funny.
No, that's all right.
That's all right. It's some of the stuff that came from the Lego plastic boxes.
I haven't gone through yet.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
A lot of modern stuff in there.
Oh wow, more of the Power Gladiator stuff.
Scott and I just bought what we thought was a show bag, which it was a show.
So Jamie started taking us out the back of the store to look at the overflow, and that's when I started feeling a little like Pixel Dan or Ed's Retro Geek Out, Narc from Not Another Retro Channel. Those guys always get to go out the back of shops and just rummage through boxes and boxes of items. And that's the feeling that I started to get as we walked the corridor out to the back. And I have to say, it was just piled again, floor to roof, boxes and boxes of items for them to still sort through. Towers of games and game consoles, which they test everything. They had a big setup there, so they would test every game to make sure that they worked before they put them out for sale. So I don't know how Jamie and Justin do that alone. They have to get a whole crew just in there just to catch up on the months of boxes that they'd have to spend. There were posters, there was just endless boxes of toys just to sort through and have a look at. And it just felt really cool being out the back, sort of digging through a little bit of those items. Now, from starting the day feeling very overwhelmed by the amount of collectibles that were in this shop, I started to slowly look around and see things that I might want to pick up. And the first item I saw, I asked straight away, can you get that out of the cabinet and put that in my maybe pile? But I definitely knew that that was coming home with me. And that was Zap from the American Gladiators. Now, a female gladiator on card. American Gladiators, straight away, you just don't see these in Australia. You don't even see them on eBay anymore. So this is from Mattel from 1991. Now, I'm a big Australian Gladiators fan. I'm trying to collect those figures. And from all the information I can find online, I can't seem to find anything that says that we got female gladiators made. I know the Americans and the UKs did, but Australia didn't get it. So when I saw this was a nice carded example to add to the collection. So I'll definitely be on the hunt for more of these American Gladiators. The next two items I picked up, I found them in a cabinet, and they're items that I don't often see. They're more on the rare to very uncommon side, and they're both from the 1993 Biker Mice from Mars cartoon TV series. So the first figure I got was Grease Pit. Now, these are just the figures. They don't come with their accessories. They're 5-inch figures. Grease Pit actually has a little soft head. He's a cool figure, and like I said, you don't see them very often. So popped him in my maybe pile, and he eventually came home with me. The next figure from the Biker Mice from Mars TV series was a figure that I wasn't 100% sure was the figure I was looking at. And Matt from Keep On Collecting, he gave me a little nudge and said, yeah, that's Charlie. So Charlie is the human character. She is a mechanic, and she fixes the bikes that the Biker Mice ride. So you're looking at her, and if she was in a tub of loose figures, you'd probably overlook her. There's nothing that really makes her jump out as a Biker Mice from Mars figure. But as I said, Matt was there, gave me the little nudge and said, you're right, that's what she is. So Charlie came home with me as well. The last item I picked up was actually found in one of the boxes out the back of the store, and I wouldn't have even known what this was if it wasn't for a video of a pickup for the Australian Gladiators that Scott and I did about a month ago. So this was a little plushie that was in the bag, and this is Tower from the 1995 Australian Gladiators. So he was part of that show bag that Scott and I picked up. So when I saw him in the box, I had to grab him, because when we drafted those items out, Scott was lucky enough to pick up this in the draft. So now I get to add him into my collection as well. So happy days on that one. I just want to thank Jamie and Justin one last time, not only for letting us film in the store, but also for just having a chat with us, getting to know us, letting us know what it's like running a collectible store, taking us out the back and just letting us having a little rummage through the overflow stock. So thank you for that. I will leave all the links to the store and their socials in the description, along with Sci-Fi and Ed5's YouTube channel. So go check those out. Just one last shout out to Scott for riding along with me, keeping me awake for the long journey with all our crazy conversations. It was a lot of fun, dude. So until next time, everybody, happy hunting.